What's going on, everybody? It's your boy named Matthews, back again with another video. Welcome back to my channel if you already been here before, and if you're new, consider subscribing, man. I teach a lot of people stuff about embroidery machines, sewing projects, a lot of other stuff, as well as my other channel, youtube.com/NateMatthews91. Today what we're going to do is another project that was submitted from one of you guys that actually started out as a sketch. Today's video is being brought to you by NeverDenyMe.com. Make sure you take a look at the website for all your graphic needs, anything from digital to physical. If you have an already prepared logo, I allow you to submit your logo through my website and I'll convert it to stitches for you, so you can either stitch it on your own machine or you can have me stitch it for you after, I've converted and things like that. And I make a physical patch for you and I send it to you, and from there you can put it on a t-shirt, a hat, whatever you want to do with it, right? So the project that we're doing today is actually an idea from one of the clients. They drew up a sketch, right? Black and white, just a quick sketch, gave me the idea. I actually responded to them and said, hey, I need to know what color you want the icons and stuff to be. What font do you want if you have a preference? And just a couple questions back and forth, right? He sent me another screenshot, drew some arrows on the piece of paper and told me, hey, I want the lettering to be gold. I want this to be green. I want this to be white, or this to be a tan color, things like that, right? So I said, okay, perfect. So I did need to know that information. So what I did from there, I actually made a logo. Now, he didn't pay for the logo, so I didn't send him the logo. But if you guys need stuff to be like vectorized and stuff to be printed on t-shirts, to make business cards and all that type of stuff too, I don't really advertise that so much on the website, but I know how to do a lot of this stuff. So what I did is I showed him a low quality proof of what the patch will look like after I convert it. So from what he sent me, this is what I said. Hey, it's gonna look something like this. These are the colors. This is what it's gonna look like. Do you approve? Once he gave me the go, I said, all right, perfect. And then from there, I went ahead and converted it to embroidery stitches. So this right here is what we're getting ready to do today. What started out as a quick sketch right here in black and white ended up being a very nice looking patch, a render. But what we're getting ready to do right now is actually make this render and this sketch, all this, come to life. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, so I have the design all loaded up. First thing I always like to do is go ahead and press edit end, hit this icon right here, and let it just make sure you have stuff in place and nothing is in the way of where you're going to be stitching. There it is right there. So nothing's going to be in the way. As you guys may be able to see right there, I put 2 layers of fabric, which is going to be my stabilizer today. I wanted to use black instead of white to see if it actually blends in with the design a little bit better, since the base of it is going to be black. I have my cloth right here that I'm going to be using, and I think a few, if not all, of the colors that I'm going to be using for this design today. So now that I've already verified everything is in place where I need it, I'll go ahead and press edit end to get started. It's telling me the design is going to take about 40 minutes, but I already know it's not going to take that long, because something I do just to have the picture show up the way I would like the results to be is I'll always include a full stitch background. But if it doesn't need to be stitched like all the way, I just simulate that and I use the fabric itself as the background. So the background is going to look just like the fabric. It's going to be transparent pretty much, and we're only going to be putting the colors into it. So we're going to knock off 26 minutes out of our 40-minute total right there. So it's going to go a little bit faster than the machine is expecting. So let's go ahead and get started. So another thing I do all the time is I tell the machine that I need to stitch black, but because I'm using a black stabilizer this time instead of the white, I'm going to use an opposite color to make it a lot easier to go ahead and cut it out after I actually tack down my fabric and things like that. So first we're going to go ahead and load in our white thread. You guys may or may not have seen me do this plenty of times. If you're new, again, welcome to the channel, man. All I do is try to make it a little bit easier for those who are getting started with sewing and embroidery. And I also listen to your guys' recommendations to, make myself better in the meantime as well for the next video. So make sure you guys subscribe. So again, I have that. You guys already seen me loop it. I have black stabilizer as well. Black bobbin thread at the bottom of the machine as well. Since most of it is black, if it does decide to poke through, it's going to blend in with the fabric as well. So let's go ahead and do our placement stitch, which is going to be a quick little circle. And just that quick, I went ahead and placed our material in. We'll go ahead and throw the lever down and press go and let it tack it on down. to the part where I said we're going to skip right now. We don't need to use all this thread or all this time to stitch 100% black background because we already have a 100% black background right there. So on the machine here, I'm just going to press this icon and we're going to press this plus button to skip to the next color. And now it's asking us to use white, which again, lucky for me, I do already have the white in there. So we'll go ahead and just press continue, the green arrow right here, which the next step says it's only going to take 3 minutes. So again, guys, this design is stitching out very quick and I work very quickly as well, as long as you guys provide me with everything that I need. The customer was able to provide me with the sketch. He didn't just say, hey, I want something like this and just like tell me the idea. He actually took the time out, drew a sketch, told me what he wanted. Hey, you missed a little bit of information. I need to know the colors. Boom. He drew the arrows, told me exactly what colors he wants, where he wants things to be placed. I sent him the little sample of a colored, like official logo version. He approved it. We're stitching it the next day and we're sending it out today as well. So if you guys, you know, provide me with the stuff that I need, I can provide what you need, which is the results of a digitized conversion or a patch itself. Hey, you guys come correct, I come correct. I do my very best work that I can possibly do because I do appreciate those who continue to shop with me. It looks like I made a good choice with the color that I added as the base of the cake there. It is looking nice and cakey. All right, so now we need the silver, which is gonna cover up the lines that's in between the frosting or the icing, whatever you wanna call it, on the cupcake. We'll go ahead and remove this color. And then for this part, I'm gonna make it look a little bit cooler, right? Because with the other one being like regular thread that we've been using for the design, this is going to be a metallic to make the cupcake like pop off, right? So this has an extra shine. So regular embroidery thread is already shiny, but metallic thread is extra shiny and it looks like it's working perfect. Nice, big, bold, and legible. As you guys see right here, the numbers that it's putting into the design right now are coming out very clear, even from a distance. And that's one of the really important things to think about when you're requesting to have a design done. If you have a very small font, that font might be stitchable if you stitch a design that's, you know, humongous. But if it's really small and then you want it to be 2.5 inches, guys, the stuff is not going to work. So I'm going to have to tell you, hey, we could do the design, but we're gonna have to, you need to remove the wording on it. Otherwise, if we go ahead and move forward with the wording, it's not gonna stitch correctly. So I do my very best to try to give you guys a warning and a heads up, but I do also need you guys to think about this type of stuff as well. If you have a small font and want a small design, it's probably not gonna work out too well. Keep in mind that what we're doing right here can only be as small as the thickness of the thread. We're not using ink like on a printer, so we can't have very crisp, clear details like this tiny with thread, because the thread is going to be what makes the design. Anyway, let's continue, man. We got a big old jump stitch from one side to the other, so we'll go ahead and clip this, and I'll get the rest of it out when I pop the design out of the hoop. Last but not least, we need gold here. Let's go ahead and remove our green. Actually, we could just clip it from there and keep it sitting up there for now. Something cool about this machine, now that we're on our last step right here, I actually just put the last color that we need right here in the machine. So a previous machine didn't have that. Of course, you can have all your threads sitting down here at the bottom, but it's pretty cool that there's another spool up here at the top that I can just wind this one right on up and it can stitch from right where it's at. So it actually holds two things at once. Now you can't put them both in. Matter of fact, we probably can. I'll have to try that in another video. The reason the machine is going a little bit slower in certain areas is because this is like a longer type of satin stitch. So when it has to make those big jumps across like that, that's why it's going a tad bit slower. But in the areas that it can, the machine is kind of smart enough to know when it can stitch at a faster pace. Boom, new little angle on y'all. And this is the results of the stitch out. Came out very, very, very clean, very sharp. So that's the results of the stitch out, man. This came from a little rough draft sketch. Sent it over to the kid, and I made it happen for him, man. One thing though, at the time of this recording, I do not have the the fabric that I like to put on the back to not only cover up the stitches but to brand myself. But just to give you guys a close-up on the backing as well, it did exactly what it needed to do. You know, the stitches go over the design just a little bit. You see the bobbin thread all does stay in the back of the design, and none of the bobbin thread poked through, allowing you to see that color on top. Just blends right on in there. So the results of this came out good. If you guys see, it is nice and flat. And what once started out as a sketch, here we now have a final product. This is the results from a sketch to a patch. Anything from digital to physical, guys. NeverDenyMe.com. Thanks so much for shopping with me. If you guys want more tips and tricks and stuff like that on how I do this, make sure you click the playlist on my channel. I have a whole bunch of videos about it, as well as I have more embroidery videos on my other channel. So if you're only subscribed to this channel, you might be missing a lot of content. Make sure you subscribe to both of them, and even follow me on Instagram as well. Catch you guys in the next shipping it out right now too, by the way. Told y'all, we shipping it right now.